Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. For anyone that's tuning in, just still trying to get the hang of this whole going live thing, waiting for people to come on, and then also still trying to start the video with exactly what I want to say. So this video is about just some new writing that I started working on. If you're a follower of this channel, and if you aren't, you know the deal. All the stuff that people say, hit all the things that you're supposed to hit to help spread the word. Anyways, just started doing some new writing. I mean, that's one of the things that I kind of have on this channel is some of my poetry, screenplays, plays, different ideas. And this is an idea that I've kind of been having for quite a few years. When you're a writer, ideas take a little while to fully put together everything that you think the story might be about and what concepts you're trying to get across. And that's still coming with this project. But I've got a good burst of ideas on it after thinking about it for really quite a long time. And when you're trying to write something in literature, it's kind of strange because what area are you trying to go after? I mean, and frankly, I can't really think of it that way. I have to think about writing the way that I write, and I can't really think about it in terms of trying to write something commercial or trying to write an idea that might be this way or that way. Because frankly, I can't write a story from the beginning to the end, anyways. It always comes with an idea and jotting down the idea, and it just takes on its own life, its own sort of organism. Anyways, but this is one that I've had for a while, and it's kind of a bit of a satire on something like a Ulysses or a James Joyce kind of thing, where it's a character who has an epic going on, but it's just an ordinary, everyday thing they might be going through. I'll get to the point now, because what we're really doing the video about here is so I can get this poem onto my channel so that I'll have it there. Anyways, this is kind of the beginning of the story. And what's gone on is there's sort of like this crazy guy that's yelling through this wall living next door. And he's preaching all sorts of prophecy. And we've kind of shifted focus to our main character, which is an artist. And the idea is we got people tuning in. Oh, sorry. Let me, before I get into it. Catherine, hey. Good to see you. Supernaturally not Ava. Hello. AtitCon Lexi, hello. I mean, these are a little, that's tricky. I gotta get better at all my linguistics. Beatrice, hello. J Dubia 444, hi. You're part of the 444 crew, I see. Thanks for tuning in. Just talking a little bit about sort of some of my writing, and how I write and what this new project is about. It's really a way of I I only see one way of writing, and that's to be original. And each writer has to be original, and that's kind of what makes things interesting. But there is some rules that you got to play by. You gotta at least give your audience a way to figure out what you're talking about. Um, but anyways, this is kind of going to be an experimental novel where I jump around into a lot of poetry, uh, artistic concepts, referencing, digressions. But anyways, the idea is it starts off with there's sort of some prophetic poetry that maybe begins. This might still be the very beginning. This still might be the opening page. But the idea is our main character is an artist who's going to go on an adventure. He's going to go on an epic, but it's an average, ordinary day going down his street. He has his opening event down the road, and he's making his way down the road to his but there's going to be a lot of things involved with it. Characters he runs into along the way, a lot of things we see in modern life. And also, he might be a drug addict, he might be a dreamer, he might be philosophizing, he might be crazy, he might be delusional, it might be all grandiose, the whole concept. Anyways, so the beginning of the novel, he starts off in his apartment looking out of his window. And it's described as he's sitting there at his window, and across from his sort of art studio is a church and a park, and he's watching people, and he's listening to this um, sort of prophet next door who's screaming through the walls. If you've ever had a neighbor out there, if any of you have ever lived in an apartment with a neighbor who's crazy and just screams out of nowhere or anything like that, there's something crazy going on next door, right? Um, and so this guy's having an internal monologue. I appreciate everyone for tuning in. How you doing? Doing pretty good. Cool. Appreciate y'all tuning in. I'm just gonna get into what I was reading, what I wrote today, and this is the internal monologue of the character. This is how it opens. Prophecy. What of it? More tyranny for the internal ledger, more of the same unfulfilled external pleasures, fighting against time's eternal leisure. Soft were the landings when young, for some, a lifetime spent narrating one's own soul. Bitter and cold becomes the winters of age. The heart only lies at the end. Epics are every day, and in the between of what seems there, all minds are lost. Where each thought began, no one can truly know, but set a course and cognate into artistic rhythm, and set sail on your own drawn maps of desired destiny. The dying gods and heroes have left room for more mortal demise, without such pomp as a well-told tale, a well-tattered tale which hangs without pride. The cave is dark, with barely a light shadow on the wall. Figures blend into oblivion, the unforeseen. But what I have seen in upper lands is Nouveau Nour. I build a ladder with my bare hands to send it down into time sand. Why was I so jealous of Romeo? It seems so silly now with some age, but years ago, I would have killed and died for love. I didn't even know what it means. Maybe I know less now. Maybe love is hard to find. Maybe it's everywhere. Maybe it's not real. But how would that be the case or so? I've seen it. It's tough to know too much of a thing without even knowing it at all. Well, for instance, philosophy of life, I guess. It's a slow flood. Eventually, your ideal civilization will drown in it. The rushing waves, which were distant and easy on the eyes, become the steady torrent. Oh, thank you, horizons, for you give warning and set the gaze. We're traveling with clouds I view on all things, but with a hawk's eye, nay, an eagle. Wings are but my soon-loon evolution, when angels call. Does death have wings, or are they filled with lead? His dread is that of weight, and so are the dead. I've heard of something that can defeat said foe, but few can pen such a deed. And still, a strange new mother awaits her seed. Anyways, that's the first part of the internal monologue of this character. Appreciate you all tuning in. Yes, I do like reading. Yes, absolutely. I like to read all sorts of things, challenging and fun novels. I like to read about ideas specifically. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Just wanted to get that out there. Well, sort of both. I write screenplays. I write plays. I write novellas, short stories. I write poems. Um, my songs aren't that great because I'm not that great of a musician, but writing seems to be something that really draws me in. Writing about all sorts of things, journalism, realistic things, modernism, postmodernism, a lot of the stuff that, people get into. Still learning, I'm no professor. I have no degree in English literature or anything, but just I like to try and get into a lot of the classics and anything that somebody says is cool that um, you maybe can learn some life experiences through. Literature, to me, as I've gotten older, uh, yeah, I mean, anybody that reads books, you understand what I'm talking about. They're a gateway to all sorts of new ideas, and there's a lot of great channels out there. By the way, at the end of this, I'd like to just throw some shout outs to places like Leaf by Leaf, and if you've ever seen some of the conversations um, with Michael Silverblatt on here, his channel is like Bookworm, or the interviews of Bookworm. But Leaf by Leaf is a ongoing channel, and there's a bunch of literature channels out there. I mean, you guys can find them. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you. First couple pages of possibly the new novel. I think you can scan back if you want to and listen to it again. Well, last year, some plays. Okay, last year I wrote the blue on my channel. If you go on my channel, I have audiobooks of my plays. I guess I could promote some of that stuff. I never really think to do anything like that. On my channel, you can subscribe or whatever, but they're on there. Um, the Bluest World is a stage play. It's sort of like a gothic looking street dark stage play about a dystopian world where there's this emperor called Rus Fartzi, and he creates this fascist society where everyone has to wear blue, and there's no concept of history anymore. No one's allowed to learn history or speak of history, but it's a musical, and so everyone kind of plays this sort of atonal, gibberish kind of music throughout, and it's about different groups of people in this society trying to kind of break free from the bluest world. Um, it's a minimalist play. It's kind of like my version of a Samuel Beckett kind of play. And then also on my channel is the novella that I wrote last year. It's called On Grady Hill. That's probably the writing that I'm most proud of. If you go on my channel, you'll see the playlist for On Grady Hill, and you can start from the beginning. Evangeline's Journal, Part 1. And there's a playlist for that. So appreciate everyone tuning in. I'm going to sign out now. Already subbed. Thank you very much for everyone that subbed. Appreciate that. And then also on there, I have other stuff that I do, like just the character that I do called Dr. Robert Octavio Durange, who's a scientist. I'm not going to do the voice right now, but if you go on there, you'll see that sort of satire about science and philosophy and adventure and um, going out in the wild type of stuff that I do on there too. So there's a whole playlist on that, and just appreciate y'all tuning in and listening to me read that. And I have a new film that I'm still working on. It's called Socio. It's coming out soon. I have a full length film that has like 19,000 views. We're almost at 20,000 actually. We're almost at 20,000 views on The Night Owl, which is my first full length film that I did 2.5 years ago, maybe 3 years ago now. And a bit of a one man um, it's a bit of a one man stage play. There are other characters in it. And it's about this kind of like homeless character who's going through a psychological break where he sees angels and demons and he might be a hero. And he kind of goes on this daily travel and journey um, to save another person that's in the film. Um, but it's like a very surreal kind of like old, trying to do an old-fashioned international film style thing or a David Lynch kind of thing. But that's almost up to 20,000 views. We've got a new film coming out though, and that's Socio. Still working on it. I have to go through all the memory in my phone and finish the final. And the edit is there, but it's just about downloading it, which takes a lot of space. And I have to clear up stuff, and I kind of got myself in a puzzle with that. Anyways, appreciate y'all tuning in. If you want to subscribe and you want to check out the channel, Blurred Lens Pictures, you see the thing underneath there. Um, I won't be bugging you with asking you for any money or anything like that. You guys just enjoy anything that's on my channel. Hopefully you appreciate it. Hopefully you like it. I certainly appreciate you guys being here and checking it out. Have a great day.